Mackenzie started it, whatever, 12 years ago because she wanted something for her kids. But Austin is the center of education, right? In the world of education, we have the most innovation in the world in Austin, Texas. We have more startup schools. There's more micro schools here, right? You have the acting academies, you have the UATXs, you have just full Socratic experience. You have so many great educators, right? You have so many great learning scientists, right? You have all of this. And then most importantly, getting back to why I think it is you have the parents who want something different. That if you really want the old way, there's 100,000 schools you can send your kid to. If you want innovation in education, there actually aren't lots of places that are great new opportunities. The number of people who move to Austin to send their kids to these new places, whether it's Alpha or some of these other ones, right, is huge. Some of my schools have 30% of people who move to the city because their city doesn't have anything. So Austin is, I believe, because of the parents who in 2000, and maybe it was COVID when we had all the remote workers come in,
right? Everybody
relocate here. They're all like, I need new schools. Right? And they're like, okay, well, it's all messed up anyway in Zoom school and all this craziness. Let me try these new ones. Oh, wow, look, this is awesome. Let me keep going. For parents to try, no one actually wants their kid to be this guinea pig,
right,
when it's completely untrusted, just craziness, right? Reckless guinea pig. No one wants that. In Alpha, to move schools, you need two things. You need a reference from a parent you trust, who's like, this is crushing it for my kid, right? You want that, you need that reference. And then the second thing is you need to see a kid at the school do something your kid can't do that you value, whether they love school or, oh, wait, the academics or life skills, whatever you care about. If you have those two things, you're like, ooh, I will try this. And in Austin, we just have so many parents who've done it. They're like, oh, I tried that school. It was really awesome. And here's why. And so I believe that is the key. And because you have those parents, that attracts the other educational innovators, because that is the gate. If you go into a community and everybody's like, well, call me back after 10 years and 5,000 kids of proof, no educational innovator can do anything.
Did we have this sense of the education experimentation pre-2020? A lot of it, I mean, obviously Alpha was before that, but a lot of it, as you're saying, you're like, okay, well, we have a founder class, but you don't see this so much in SF.
Yeah.
But to your point, a lot of it was like, I'm frustrated with the system, whatever the system is, and that's why I moved to Austin.
Yeah.
And I'll just do it myself, right? Like a lot of people kind of went that direction.
Correct. And you have things, who've been for like Acton is a great one here in Austin that's been around forever, right? And 300 schools that they've done because of the innovation that's here. So I don't know how it got started in Austin.
Okay.
So yes, it did.
Right.
But then sort of in the 2000 timeframe when everybody came in, there was already enough of these different schools that people did it, that people tried, that they had enough references that everything exploded. And then once it exploded, it's attracting the whole next wave.
Yeah.
Right. The number of startup schools in Austin today and innovation and education today, it just keeps going up every year. Right. We Alpha is starting all these different schools, right? We have the Texas Sports Academy and the Gifted School. We have the world's best Montessori educator who's building Montessorium, right? It's because you can do that, because we have enough ecosystem, right? We have Waypoint, the wilderness school, right? That you need those families, and we have enough. So if you're sitting here saying, I want to start a new school, the second question is, can I find enough parents who will do it? And the answer is, the best place in the world to do that is Austin, Texas.
I just find it amazing, fascinating. I've heard that stat before about like the amount of people moving to Austin to send their kids here. And obviously that's a high agency. Like it's a different kind of person. It's like, I'm just going to find the best school of where I am versus, no, we're going to move. And so two questions on that. So one is, what do you think that does to like the talent level in Austin? Because these are obviously people who can really do things and change things. And the second, you succeed, Alpha, you have schools all around. Is this a temporary kind of arbitrage where they're going to come here versus like, no, I can stay in New York, I can stay in Miami, I can stay in Chicago or whatever, because I've got the school there?
I believe, in the 90s with Trilogy, my old company, right, we brought in 2,000 Ivy League kids and jump-started and brought a lot of talent into Austin that ended up being significant. I believe today the schools in Austin are bringing in the families who are the talent that are the next 10 and 20 years of Austin talent. Like, this is it, which is there is nothing parents care about more than raising their kids.
Yeah.
Right. It's just being in this market now forever. I mean, they literally will pack up and move across the world, right, to be able to do this. Also don't screw it up, because they get very upset if you do.
Well, the final straw for us, where we looked at Austin for a number of years and hadn't made the move, and it was the schools were closed in California and they were open here. We're like, that's it, we're leaving.
Yeah, it's just the most important thing for a family or a society is raising the next generation, right? It is the most important thing to do. There is no higher purpose. And Austin's the best place in the world for it. And I believe that does just keep this positive cycle of attracting the best who then are in this environment. And I do believe, I'm a huge fan of school choice, which is back to selection effect. Mm-hmm. There is no one school for everybody, right? There's going to be, parents are going to be in a system where they're like, you know what, my first kid, my oldest is going to love that school. My youngest is going to love that school. Like, we only had Alpha. I have 2 daughters, right? And now as I look at the ecosystem, right, I'd be like, ooh, Kate would have loved Alpha GT, right? And my youngest daughter never would want to go to that school, right? And so I believe this whole concept of we're going to build this great ecosystem in Austin. We already have it, but it's just, so it's not a short-term arbitrage. This is going to be, Austin is going to be the center of education in America, probably the world. And I believe it's going to come because we are the ones on the positive cycle, that we have all those, network effects already building, where you have the families, you have the schools, that pulls in more educators, right? I talked to the world's best learning scientists. Mm-hmm. Right? Our team has the best learning scientists, and all the other learning scientists from around the world are like, I was talking to a couple who's over in London, and they're like, I guess we're moving to Austin because we need to be in this, right? We need to be in this for our kids. We have the world's best video game designers, right? And they're like, I guess we have to move to Austin because that's the center, is we're going to build the world's best educational video games, and we need to have our kids in these schools. So I believe all of that is happening, and I believe, if you're going to build, right, a world-leading city, it is built on education. That is it is the most important. We have UT, right? We are going to have an educational K through 12, right, which is the world's best.